Next up are the phytoplasmas, and I have to say I think this is probably my favorite group of plant pathogens. When you get to the phytoplasmas, you're entering the twilight zone because the symptoms that these organisms induce are incredibly bizarre, and we'll take a look at some photos in just a second. I often refer to phytoplasmas as quote-unquote funky bacteria. They are bacteria-like organisms. They're technically in a group of organisms called the mollicutes. They're about the same size, though, as true bacteria, maybe a little bit smaller, and they are different from true bacteria in that they do not have that nice rigid wall. I mentioned that bacteria have a rod shape or a spherical shape. The phytoplasmas don't have that, and so they tend to have all kinds of different shapes, and their shape can change depending upon the particular environment that they're in. So they may start out spherical, they may eventually become rod-shaped, they may be some shape in between. These organisms are what is called phloem limited. That means that they only live in the phloem, which is the food conducting tissue inside the plant. You can see these organisms with a light microscope, but you need to use special stains in order to do it. Quite frankly, if you really want to see what a phytoplasma cell looks like, you need to use an electron microscope just the way that you would for a viral pathogen. They reproduce in a manner that's very similar to that of true bacteria, binary fission again, and so they have a phytoplasma chromosome. It replicates to make two copies. Those migrate to opposite ends of the cell. The cell pinches off in the center, and you end up with two cells that are genetically identical. These organisms, like many viruses, are transmitted by insects, in particular leafhoppers. So we typically see an increase in these sorts of diseases in the environment when we have an influx of leafhoppers come into an area.